everyone. It's me again. So I'm going to walk through some research that GfK has done. One thing about research at GfK is we have a lot of it. So the challenge here today is to present something that's meaningful within the time allotted, which is about 10 minutes. So I'm going to do my best. I pulled out a couple of slides from three really major research studies that we did in 2015 that are in the process of being released for 2016 right now. So a lot of the data that you'll see will be refreshed over the next couple of months, but there's no question that there's a lot of innovation and disruption that's going on within various payments channels. In fact, since I gave this presentation, I've only done it one time before for a private client, but a lot has changed. I would add another channel to what I'm going to show you today based on Pokemon Go, right? There's a lot of opportunity within VR and augmented reality and social media for payments as well. But what we try to do at GfK is understand the attitudes, perceptions, behaviors, usage of consumers across these various payments channels that I'll show you in just a moment to help our clients stay ahead of what's happening and capitalize on opportunities in the marketplace. So these are the three payments channels that I'm going to focus on today. Certainly there's a lot of disruption going on at the point of sale, right? A lot of change that's happening with EMV, contactless, mobile, using your shoe to pay eventually in the future. Connected car, although there's some dispute whether the operating system within the car will be the dominant way that people pay with their cars or their mobile phones while they're sitting in their car. Connecting your car to your surroundings and to your mobile device is going to be certainly a long-term trend. And then there's a smart home, which is really a subset of the Internet of Things, but primarily what people think of when they're thinking about the Internet of Things as a consumer. So I'm going to talk about this. It's relatively early for the smart home, but it's definitely emerging as well. So I'm going to start with the point of sale. We've done this study for a long time. It's a syndicated study at GfK. It's called Future Buy. I love the study because it's 25 countries and it's 17 individual categories that they look at. And we talked to 25,000 consumers around the world about their shopping behaviors. Where are you buying? Why are you buying? What device are you using? How are you using it? Showrooming and so on. So it's a really great study. This study is the only one that I'll show you that's for sale. It's an online portal and it's syndicated, so it's very affordable, and I really love the study. So here's one of the major findings out of this, and it really just shows how mobile payment adoption varies around the world. Asia Pacific leads the world in mobile payment adoption, and the percentages you see there are percent of all transactions, in-store mobile payments as a percent of all transactions that are made. So APAC leads with 9%. You can see that Europe lags, and then on the other side in green shows the distribution of payment methods in the US as of 2015. So what we see is that the more mobile payment adoption in store, the more advanced the retail experience and the more transformed the retail experience becomes. So, common thought, what's the consensus is that around 10 to 13% is the tipping point for any society for adopting a technology. So APAC is right on the verge of that, and if you look at individual countries, I think you'll see that, like China, right? And we start to see some of this retail transformation happening in the US. So these are some examples. We have a lot of examples. I just pulled out a couple of JCPenney and Staples, where they have in-store kiosks where you can walk up to them, that eventually in APAC or in APAC and eventually in the US, they know who you are, they know what you buy, they process your rewards, and you pay for things right at the kiosk. In the US right now, it's really just a store within a store. And what the advantage is that if they don't have your shoe size, or they don't have what you're looking for, you can browse the full inventory, you can order off of the kiosk, you can look at reviews, look at 3D, the coolest tennis shoes, you can look at a 3D version of them and that kind of thing. So this really is transforming what's happening in APAC. The stores are smaller, but there's a larger inventory. So this is really an interesting development, and what I feel is the catalyst is really the phone and the ability to pay and using your mobile phone to interact with the store, which is a big change. When we look at the connected car, we did a study across 7 countries. Yeah. 6 countries, 5,800 consumers. I forgot for a second. 6 countries, 5,800 consumers. And we did a full study on the connected car. It's a really nice study, and I pulled out a couple slides that just show the evaluation of a few concepts that consumers evaluated, right? So we're talking about advanced entertainment systems, autonomous driving, advanced data tracking of your driving, advanced safety features, a life manager that connects your car with your home, with your device, electric car, and then advanced travel solutions. And what was really nice about the findings here was that they were really well received. Not only by the general population, which you see on the bottom, but also by leading edge consumers. Leading edge consumers are a proprietary subset of the population that GfK has created. That these are not only early adopters, but they're also consumers that are passionate about the particular category. In this case, it's connected car, and influential in their circle of friends or their network. So we use leading edge consumers to see and understand where the general population is headed. They're a leading indicator. So a lot of folks use millennials, which is great. We use leading edge consumers as well. So what's great about this is that the concepts that were evaluated were all very well received. People like them. Leading edge consumers like them even more, which means that we feel that the connected car concepts that you see on the screen here will certainly have some traction and is a long-term trend. We already see this happening. We have some photos from Mobile World Congress where there was a lot of technology debuted from Audi, from Honda, and from BMW as well, where these tokenization will be included in the dashboard, and you'll be able to connect with various devices. Now, did anyone read my article that was published in Let's Talk Payments where I called out Elon Musk for not including a payments platform in his master plan, part 2? Am I the only geek in here that thought that was weird? So I'm still waiting to hear back from Mr. Musk on that, but nonetheless, I do think that this technology has some traction. I mean, he started PayPal. Why wouldn't he? Anyway. Okay, so lastly is the smart home. In this case, we looked at 7 countries, 7,000 consumers evaluating various aspects of the smart home technology, so a subset of the Internet of Things. And the first thing we asked them is we said, hey, are you aware of the term smart home? Do you know what smart home is? Are you aware of this? And 9 out of 10 said, oh yeah, sure, I know what smart home is, I get it, And then we asked them, do you feel that smart home technology will impact your life in a meaningful way? And the number dropped, for general population, dropped to 50%. Now this is aggregated across the 6 countries, but nonetheless, that dropped significantly. So what that tells us is that there's somewhat of a communication problem. Although people are aware, they don't understand how it could impact their life. And the use case that resonates with me is that if you're someone who has a medical condition or is home-ridden, you can interact with your medical provider. You could order medical supplies or medicine right through your home by communicating with your surroundings. And the use cases are far and wide. Connecting yourself with the surroundings and communicating with your surroundings certainly could impact all of our lives in the future. And so you can see there was a number of technologies evaluated in the study here, and you can see where smart home. Mobile payments was pretty high. And then the other thing that's nice is you can see how much more leading edge consumers feel that smart home technology will impact their lives. So that's a leading indicator again. And this is global aggregated data, so this does vary by country. But the challenge for us is to get it right, and I'll show you why that is. Consumers' expectations are very, very high when it comes to this technology. I mean, a lot of us that saw the Jetsons or see movies, that are set in the future, and people are just, touching things in the air and communicating with their surroundings. So the expectations are very high, and when we asked consumers, do you expect these devices to communicate with each other? So imagine your phone communicating with your Nest, communicating with your Alexa and your toaster and your car. That's a pretty tall order for the industry to be able to pull off, all of these disparate devices connecting. But 2/3 of consumers say, yeah, that's my expectation. I expect all of these devices to communicate with each other. And then if a consumer already has a smart home technology like a Nest or an Alexa or something like that, it jumps to almost 80%. So 78% say, yeah, I expect all of these technologies to talk with each other, which is a pretty tall order. That's also combined with a consumer's patience fading. So over half of consumers globally in the study said, if a new technology product is not simple to use, I lose interest. And this is trending higher from 2010 by 8 points. So, the onus is really on the industry to get the UI simple, easy to use, easy to understand for this smart home technology to work. So I don't know if that was right at 10 minutes. So these are massive studies. I'll tell you right now, if anybody is interested in the connected car study, it's a free study. I can send it to you. If anybody's interested in the smart home, it was presented at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas last year, and we had something like 40,000 downloads of that study. So it's a really interesting study. The Future Buy study that talks about shopping behavior, that's the one that has a price to it, but if you're interested, I can certainly share some data out of that as well. So anybody wants a copy of this, no bubbles, no troubles, I'll send it to them. So, all right. Thank you, everybody.